Hi, if you want to build an API in Go, you need to understand JSON. And this is exactly what we are covering today. I will show you a simple example of marshaling and unmarshaling. And in the next episode, we will combine this with our Hello World HTTP server, and we will build our first stateless JSON API. Now let's crack on with the example. First, create a struct. Let's call it user. Type user struct. And for example, user have an ID, which is an integer, and the name, which is a string. We can use JSON, which is part of the standard package. If we say JSON marshal, we can provide anything, for example, a struct. So let's create our struct. Let's call it just U for simplicity, and it will be user struct with an ID equals 1 and the name equals John, and provide this struct to the JSON of marshal, and it will return two parameters. One of the parameters is the result, and the second parameter is the error. Just handle the error and print to the screen. If I point, you can see it's a byte slice. So if I would try to print this out as it is, then I would just get numbers. Therefore, I have to convert it to the string so I can show you the result. So let's print it, fmt, print line, and with the string keyword, I will convert it to a string. Result. All what's left is running the code. Go run that, and I have the JSON string here. But what you have to know, it's important if it would be a non-public field, I will change the name to small caps, and I run the code again. Let's try go run again. I just have the ID, but the name is not there. So it's important that everything within the struct have to be public exported. So in other words, it should start with a capital letter. Otherwise, it will not be marshaled into the string. Yeah, that's okay. But what if I want in the string small case or camel case versions? There's a solution for that. We can use tags. And I can see in this backticks that JSON ID, and in backticks JSON name. Let's run again, and now I have small ID and small name. In theory, I could use different text as well, like user ID, for example, and it still should work, but usually we use the same, just different casing. So I will skip and put it back to ID. Okay, let's run it again, and I have ID and name. Let's copy this and create a const. User a string equals, and put it in between backticks so I don't have to like unescape these quote parameters, and try out how we can reverse this stuff. Delete this, create a user struct, but I don't have to initiate that user struct now. So I just will say user, and I can use the JSON again. But now I will use unmarshal, which takes two parameters. The first one is a data, which is a byte slice, and any. The any should be a pointer to our struct. And the first one should be that a JSON, which I will try to convert back. Okay, let's try to do that. But because this is a byte slice and that's a string, I have to convert first into a byte slice. Then I have to provide, it's very important, a pointer to my user struct. And it can return an error. and we always have to handle the error. And fmt print line and u. Let's print out the user struct and run again. Go run. And it's converted back. If I say u.name, then I shall have the name only. I can also use nested structs if I want to. Let's say, for example, the user lives in different addresses, so I can create another struct like addresses, postcode, which is a string. Let's use our JSON notation. And like an address line. And for example, the user can have multiple addresses. So try it and say address. This will be a slice of address. Okay, revert back to the previous one. Marshal it to a string again. And I have replaced this one. And try again converting it back. And if it works again. Yes, it works. I have the user and I have two addresses returned back. And comment this out. And we can use map as well with the following structure. Map string and any or interface, of course, and try. And it works again, just now it's in a map. We could reverse this as well, and we could map or marshal something from the map as well. Let's try this out. And instead of that, create a map with string, user ID 1 and name John or Josh, and now marshal it instead of unmarshal, where I have a result. I just use the user and print out the result, and it works other way around as well. So that's it for marshaling, unmarshaling, handling JSONs. In the next episode, we will move on to putting this into action, and our previous hello world HTTP handler will be a stateless API. See you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done it already. Bye.